Hello everyone, this is Juniper Talvik, and today I'm just going to do a little collection showcase just because I've been debating about maybe selling off some parts of my collection, and so I decided before I make that decision I would just make a video showing everything that I currently have. So first we have this little display thingy I made a while ago. This is just from a little kit thingy by this company, Row Life. It has a light in it, but the light only looks good in person. It doesn't really look good on camera, so I'm not going to turn it on. And over here, we're going to start from the very top of the shelves and work our way down. So in this top corner, we've got some Evangelion stuff, including my custom Evangelion Anima Eva. At some point, I was thinking of maybe painting it, but since only on the cover art and like a couple pages do you see it with color, so I'm kind of fine leaving it in these wrong colors. There are little fins that go here. It's just I didn't notice that they had fallen off in the box from the last time I moved. And by the time I put it on display, I didn't notice and I didn't feel like digging the box out. So for now, they're just going to sit there. Then, next up, we have my Full Mechanics Nightingale. I don't currently have an LED for it, but when I do, I'm definitely going to install it because without it, you can't really see the eye at all. And everything here could probably use a good dusting. I've been living in this apartment for about a year now, and I haven't had a chance to dust anything. Mainly because I get really scared about dusting Gunpla. If anyone knows like a tip to like do it that is like less scary, let me know. Then we have one of the holy grails of my collection, the Master Grade Hi-Nu Gundam, the old one. And the reason this is a holy grail in my collection is because I have a kit that you'll see later on that was a huge disappointment, because when I had heard that I was getting it, I thought it was this kit, and then it turned out to not be that kit, and I was really upset. And so I'm just really happy to finally have this one in my collection. This one is definitely never going to leave my collection. Then up next, we've got my Unicorn Gundams. Gundam Unicorn was the first UC Gundam I ever watched. I'm going to turn the light off. We'll only do that later. But Gundam Unicorn was one of the first UC Gundam shows I watched. The first Gundam show I watched was Build Fighters, and then I watched Build Fighters Try, and then I watched Unicorn. Those were my first three I ever watched back in, I think 2015 was when I first got into Gundam. So I have my full armor Unicorn, my Unicorn Verka, my Banshee Verka, my regular Banshee, and my Fennex. The Fennex is actually a Debon model perfectibility. I did an unboxing video of it forever ago, and I just never got to doing a review. But it's a Debon model perfectibility that I painted gold, and then this Armed Armor DE that you see on the back of my regular Banshee, it came with the Fennex's horn. So it's got the Fennex horn. I don't remember if the Fennex has a custom collar or if it's just the regular Unicorn collar. I'm pretty sure it's just the regular Unicorn collar. And it's got the tails because it was a perfectibility, and it's got an action base because it was a perfectibility. Then we've got my Narrative Gundam B packs in the back here. This is the premium Bandai set that comes with the B packs and the Narrative Gundam in one box. The only problem with this set is they don't give you the pink Psycho Frame runner. They only give you a clear Psycho Frame runner. So if you want the pink Psycho Frame, you either have to harvest it from a regular unicorn, paint the clear runner, or buy a second narrative, which I've done none of those things. Then we've got my Shinanju. Unfortunately, with this one, I painted this barrel silver, and because of the paint, it's now too thick to retract, so it sticks out super fly. But all the gold trim I painted with Gundam marker instead of using the decals because it's all raised, so why the fuck would I use the decals that are gonna peel off or just be a bitch to apply when I could have just done that? This was a little difficult to do, but it's so worth it to have it all painted instead of with decals. Then we have my custom Crossbone Gundam that's using the Shadow Gundam from Mobile Fighter G Gundam's parts as extra armor. Then we have my Shinanju Stein Verka. Eventually, I want to get the Shinanju Stein narrative version Verka, and then I would have all three Shinanjus, but for right now, I've just got the Shinanju and the Stein. Then we have my Premium Bandai Zeta Plus. I really want the retail release Zeta Plus C1. Unfortunately, that's just been a pain in the ass to get. So for now, I've just got the Premium Bandai Zeta Plus A1 unicorn version. Then behind that, we have my Delta Plus, which is in its Wave Rider mode. I have it flying straight up because that uses the least amount of shelf space. Then we've got my General Rebel fleet. We've got three Rezels. I forget what the name of each pack is, but we've got all three. I've got I think this is the Commander type in its mobile suit mode, but the rest are all in Wave Rider mode because the Rezel is the best transforming mobile suit. Both just fiction-wise, I think it's the best, and then also just like the actual transformation-wise, I think it's the best transformation. Then we've got my Zeta Plus A1, which I know is Armoro's Zeta Plus, and it's got the Armoro logo. If it weren't for the fact that I bought this kit secondhand, it wouldn't have the Armoro decals. I'd put General Rebel decals on it, but because it was secondhand and already built, it's got the Armoro decals on it. Then we have my Hainu Verka, which is the worst fucking version of the Hainu. The old one over here is an amazing kit. It poses great. It holds poses well. It is a fun build. It looks amazing. This kit, the build is so fucking tedious. I have a time lapse of its build on my channel, and it was just a pain to build. It uses the 3.0 hands, which are terrible. They're always falling apart. And it can't stand up on its own. It needs to have a little fake base, or it needs to be leaning on stuff, where this one can stand up on its own, which is crazy because this one's feet are way smaller, but this one's ankles are just so terrible it can't hold itself up. It's awful. And I'm pretty sure, because of the reasons I dislike this kit, I'm never gonna get the regular New Gundam Verka, because I'm pretty sure that one has all of the same problems. I want to get the old Master Grade New Gundam, but that hasn't been reprinted ever, so it's super expensive. Then we've got our Jagan D-Type, which at some point I'm going to paint. I just haven't really felt the need to do it. Then we have my XS Gundam, which I still need to decal the shoulder. This was another holy grail of mine. I was originally going to resign myself to just getting the Daban one. But then they announced this Premium Bandai version that came with all the parts to make either or. The only thing is there's 4 screws you can't use if you want to be able to switch it between the two, and there's 1 screw in each leg and 1 screw for each side of the backpack. You can't use those if you want to switch it, because if you use those, it's permanently stuck in whichever mode you were building it in. Then we have my Gundam Mark V. At some point, I think I might paint this one, which is why I haven't put any decals on it. Anyone remembers Gundam Online? Was a free-to-play 50 versus 50 Gundam game. I had 3 of these in that game, and I had used them enough times that I unlocked like the all-white color scheme for them. And so I had fond memories of this mobile suit, and when they announced that it was getting a master grade, I was like, I really want to get one to paint, and I just haven't gotten around to painting it. Then we have another holy grail of mine, the 1100 Chaos Gundam. I'm not a fan of Gundam Seed, but the Chaos Gundam is just a design that I really love. And it's a real shame that this kit came out when it did, because its legs are not strong enough to hold it up in mobile armor mode at all, and it doesn't have a dedicated action-based connector. Then we have another kit I really like, which is my Destiny Gundam Extreme Burst version, I think is the name. Unfortunately, its Wings of Light effects suck. They just do not stay attached at all. They're always falling out. So I don't display it with them. The reason this kit means so much to me is my first ever kit I ever bought was the real grade Destiny Gundam. And me and my brother built it even though we didn't have any tools at the time. And so I'm just glad to finally have a Destiny Gundam that I built using tools, and it's in the size scale I like to collect, and I'm happy to have it. Down here, we're going to start turning on the light for the rest of these. We've got just some random Gundam Seed Master Grades, Forbidden Gundam, another design I always wanted. When I bought my first Chaos Gundam kit, it was the old no grade 1/144th scale, because I thought I had bought the high grade, but I had accidentally bought the no grade. And this was one of the designs on the box, and I'm like, that design looks really cool. And then I played I think it was a Game Boy Advance game that had the Forbidden Gundam as one of the playable characters. I thought it looked so cool. I wasn't very good at the game, but I thought it looked cool. Then we've got an Infinite Justice Gundam and a Stray Red frame. With this Infinite Justice Gundam, you'll see something I really like doing. I really like painting the nails on my mobile suits. That was a thing I really liked even before I knew Advance of Zeta was a thing. And then after I found out about Advance of Zeta, it became my favorite thing, which sucks because I'm a 1/100 collector, and my favorite mobile suit from Advance of Zeta, the Woundwort, has no 1/100s outside of resin kits and the Bad Cube kit, which I've heard is not very good. And all of them are out of print, so it's not like I get them if I wanted to. Then we've got my Zeon Ground Forces. We've got Garmazabi's Zaku, Makuve's Goof, Char's Zagok, and then we've got the Goof Custom from 8th MS team. The reason the Goof Custom has all this battle damage chipping effect to it and my other kits don't is because my senior year of high school, I gave my history teacher a high-grade Goof Custom that I'd done the same thing to. And so I wanted to be reminded of that by doing it to the 1/100. Then we've got my Zeon Space Forces. We've got Bernice Ox's high mobility type Zaku 2, Johnny Ridden's Gelgoog, high mobility type, and then a Rick Dom. Then we have my more Gundam Seed stuff, mainly 2 Stargazer things. This Blue Duel is a custom. I have a video about it on my channel. Or not a custom, it's a resin kit. Eventually I want to get the Verde Buster and a Stargazer to complete the 4 Gundams from that show. Then we have my Sword Impulse. Then we've got a Zaku Warrior, which I put Neo Zeon logos on, but I didn't have space for it on my Neo Zeon shelf, so I put it in my Siege shelf. And then we have this weird Jin with all the extra bits. That's because I have another Jin that I did a custom with, and so I threw all of its extra parts on this one. Then we have the first of many Titans / Advance of Zeta shelves. I forget the exact names of each of the Hazel variants. I have 4 Hazels. These are the first 2. And I also really love Advance of Zeta because I love all the little bunny decals. They're so awesome. I want to get this, not this one specifically, but I want to get one of these decals as a tattoo someday. Then we have my Frame Arms Girl shelf. This isn't all of my Frame Arms Girl kits, just the ones that fit. And then Sojai Tan versions of the 2 human characters from that show. Eventually I'm going to paint up this tiny stylet. I just don't have the colors for it right now. Then we have my Megami device shelf. This also does not have all my Megami device characters or just Masume model kits. It has all my Bullet Knights and characters from other lines that I think fit the Bullet Knights aesthetic, because I really like the Bullet Knights aesthetic. Then we have my other Advance of Zeta shelf. Here we have a custom Cubile. This is the Cubile Damned, but I painted in Titan's test team colors. I think I may have posted photos of this before, but it's way in the back of here, so I'm probably not going to take it out to do a review unless I ever move and do it in the process of packing everything up. Then we've got my regular Hazel, my Hazel Ozwa. I love the Hazel Ozla. It's so freaking cool. And it gives me hope that maybe we'll see a 1/100 Wound Wart someday, because of some of the parts it has. Then we have a Gundam Mark II it's the AU Gundam Mark II, but I put Titan's Test Team logos on it. Eventually I need to go back and fix the fingers, because right now they're just the painted nails instead of the full finger being painted, like on my other Advance of Zeta mobile suits. I just haven't done that because I just haven't felt like it. Plus, this is a kit that already has top coat on it, and I'm not entirely sure how the Gundam marker would react to the top coat. Oops, knocked some stuff over behind me. Then we have my Grays shelf. I don't know how obvious it is to you, the viewer, but I really fucking love the Grays. It's one of my favorite Grunt mobile suits. Eventually, I want to have a shelf like this of Zaku's, of Zaku 1s, but they haven't reprinted the Zaku 1 kit yet, so for now, I've just got a gray shelf like this. But someday soon, or not soon, but someday, I'll have a Zaku 1 shelf just like this, and I will be the happiest non-binary person in the world. Then we have my Gundam Wing shelf. We've got a Heavy Arms Igel unit that I painted in Heavy Gundam colors. Then we have the Tallgeese Fugal, and then a Tallgeese that I turned into a Leo using spare parts from my Rezel. So yeah. Then we have my Gundam 0080 shelf, where we've got my Alex Gundam version 2.0. I want to get the version 1.0. The only reason I have the version 2.0 is because it was easier to get. I prefer most kits that have a 1.0 and a 2.0. I prefer the 1.0, but I wasn't able to find a 1.0, so I've got the 2.0. And then we have the Bond model turned a resin kit into a plastic kit, so I have 2 of them of the Camp Fur. I was really satisfied with these kits being my Camp Fur at the time that I initially got them. Now that I have a Alex Gundam to go alongside them, I'm not as happy about how much bigger they are, but also they're awesome looking kits. They're not great to pose, so like I'm never going to use them in stop motion because they're very frustrating and they fall apart a lot because they were a resin kit turned into a plastic kit. But that being said, if you can get your hands on them, they are very cool. Eventually I'm going to make front skirts for this Kampfer because this is supposed to be the Kampfer Kai / prototype Kampfer. It's weird. But eventually I want to make front skirts for it. Right now it doesn't have any, but it's supposed to have front skirts to be the Kampfer that it's supposed to be. And then I gave it a machine gun from a Debon Jagddoga. Then we've got my Zeon Ace Pilot Customs, starting with my self-insert OC's Zaku 2, and then his Jagddoga, which this kit up here is supposed to be what he gets after the Jagddoga. Well, actually, instead of the Jagddoga, the Zaku 2 and the Jagddoga are from like mainline UC, and then that custom up on the top shelf is in an AU that maybe one day I'll publish somewhere, probably my Tumblr. Then we have my custom Kondo Sazabi. Ideally, I would have liked to do this with the old Master Grade Sazabi, but Verka was cheaper because this was a Verka that someone had already done some customization work and decided they didn't want to finish their custom, so they sold it for like $70. And my brother bought it, was going to do a custom with it, decided he didn't want to do it, so then I bought it off him and did a Kondo custom. This custom has a lot of cool like little details on it, but you can't see any of them because of where I have it positioned in my shelf. Then we have my African Campaign Zeon mobile suits, starting with the Zaku cannon from Gundam Unicorn, a Goof that I painted, a custom Zaku 1 sniper that dropped its sniper rifle again. It's always dropping it because it's just held in the hand with blue tack. Oh, come on. There we go. Then we have a custom Dom that I forgot to tape off the visor when I top coated it, but we can just headcanon that as dust. And then a Dwaj Kai that eventually I'm going to paint. I just haven't gotten to it. Then we have my Gundam 00 shelf, which has 2 kits that are built regularly, and then 2 customs, and then something that can combine with one of my customs, but I just never display it that way because it takes up too much space. Then we have the last Titans shelf, for now. I'll probably end up with another one someday, but for now this is the last Titans shelf I have. It's got a Titans Mark II that I just did the Advance of Zeta fingers to. I never decaled it up. I might decal it up someday. If I do decal it up, it's going to be probably a Jared Mesa Mark II. Then we have a Marasai, a Aegis Gundam that I'm like, well, it looks similar enough to some of the Re-Zeon designs that I could headcanon it as a Advance of Zeta design. And then we have the Gundam Base exclusive Zaku cannon, which is technically a Titans mobile suit. I just haven't decaled it up with the Titans decals yet. Then we have my Zeta Project shelf. We've got the gray Zeta and the red Zeta. These are both bootlegs. Then we have the Zeta Verka, the fucking worst Zeta. This kit sucks. Don't listen to YouTubers who tell you it is good. Even the 1.0 is better than it. But I'm working on turning it into a wave shooter Zeta. That's why you see all this ugly, unpainted claw plate on it. Then our lowest shelves, which are going to be kind of hard to film. We've got my RX-78 shelf, which has a custom rollout Gundam, the G3, I probably wouldn't have bought this kit. It's just when I bought it, I thought it was the 1.0, and then I came home and I realized it was the 2.0. Then we have the Full Armor Gundam, the blue version, and a Heavy Gundam that has a modified head. Then we have just some miscellaneous Federation mobile suits. We've got the Gundam Unit 4, Power GM, GPO-3 Stallman, the alternate core fighter for the Stallman because it gives you 2 core fighters. And then we have the White Dingo team, Jim Sniper. This kit is so close to being good, but it uses the stupid 3.0 hands. If it just used 2.0 hands, which it could have used because it has Gundam version 2.0 runners, it would be a perfect kit. But it uses 3.0 hands, and they suck. 3.0 hands are garbage. Don't listen to any YouTuber who tells you they're good. They're fucking shit. 2.0 hands are better. Then we have my Echoist shelf with my 2 Daban Justa Cannons and a resin kit Echoist Jagan on top of a base jabber. Then we have my Operation V / Federation 1-Year War shelf. We've got 3 different core fighters on the ground, a gun tank, Blue Destiny Unit 1, Karen's Gundam ground type from the end of 8th MS team. You've got the Gundam version 1.5. So far, this is my favorite version of the RX-78. I haven't built a Gundam 1.0 though, so that might change my mind, but so far this is my favorite. I've built the 2.0, I've built the 3.0, I've built the Verka, and I've built this, and so far this is my favorite RX-78. Then we've got Jim Cannon North American type, and in this way back, we've got a gun cannon. Eventually, I want to, maybe not for myself, maybe for like a friend or a family member, I want to customize one of these into a gun cannon mass production type. But for now, it's just a regular gun cannon. Then we have my late UC miniaturized mobile suit shelf at the F92, a Victory Gundam core fighter, F90 with the winter equipment, this grunt suit from Victory, I forget its name, the F90Y cluster Gundam, the F91, Victory 2 Assault Buster, and then a regular Victory 2. They're actually both Victory 2 Assault Buster Daban kits, but I just keep one as a regular Victory and the other as a Victory 2 Assault Buster. Then we've got my Neo Zeon shelf with my custom Kshatriya Zaku hybrid, my custom Unicorn Marasai, just because I missed... Actually, I did this custom right before they reissued the P Bandai version. So, but I prefer the shades of green I used and the shade of orange I used. Then we've got the Char's Counterattack version of Quest's Yagdoga, and then we have the Gundam Unicorn version of it. Eventually, I'll paint this to be accurate to the show. I just haven't done it yet. Then we have my SD Gundam shelf, which does not have all of my SDs, just some of my favorites. Got the Blue Duel, Zaku 2, the really old Perfect Zong, Akai, Barbatos, Double Zeta, Verde Buster, Strike Nor, mashup of a bunch of the SD Gundam World ones. That one furry twink from Build Divers Re-Rise, Stargazer, the more modern Perfect Zong, the Full Armor Gundam, but in 7-Eleven Gundam colors because it comes with all the parts to do that. And then we have my miscellaneous shelf, which has all of my Figure-Rise Witch from Mercury characters. We've got Suletta, Miorine, the one tech lady, Choo Choo. There's a Haro there that fell over. We've got the Master Raid God Gundam. These kits are amazing. They do not need 2.0s. Bandai should just keep reissuing them and also use the exact same inner frame with no changes to make the rest of the mobile fighters. The Domon Kashu that comes with the God Gundam. We've got my Full Mechanics Ariel. And then we have my Build Strike full package. I do have the P Bandai Star Build Strike on the way, but who knows when I'll actually pick it up. And we'll do one last pan, backed all the way up, of the whole collection. So yeah, this video went on way longer than I thought it would, but thank you all for sticking with and taking this tour with me.